So Wally's broken space probe. That's Charlie.
Oh, no. Charlie's still healthy and happy. He's watching us right now. Of course, he wouldn't show himself with you here. Yeah. He's so funny. Operated by a computerized gyro. But he has a force field surrounding him that could be very dangerous.
Steve told me that he knew about Charlie the first time he took Wally hiking. But Charlie liked playing around, so Steve found himself making up excuses.
What was that?
I don't know. Sonic boom, I guess.
The late 1970s, somewhere after Close Encounters, but before the 80s and the arrival of E.T. and mostly other unpleasant aliens. This was a time for another encounter, 1979's Alien Encounters, a plain, simple movie that harkens back to when a man and a teen boy could just drive out into the woods and talk about life, the stars, and weird stuff.
I never could get into the rejuvenation scene.
Oh? And what scene are you into?
You know, hard rock, drugs, sex.
Forget that part. Anyway, astronomer Alan Reed narrates our story, his story, of being snowed in one night at his radio observatory up in the mountains. The same night his home explodes in a tragic gas explosion, killing his wife and son. The same night he receives a series of transmissions that he determines to be alien voices coming from the Barnard Star region of space. The same night he believes a UFO interfered with his radio telescope. And you never mess with a man's radio telescope. Stricken by grief at his loss, but propelled by curiosity to find out the truth about that night, Reed travels the U.S., interviewing people about all manner of paranormal events. You see, Reed believes that haunted houses are really UFO encounters, that aliens are visiting Earth and imparting wisdom to the Earth creatures that really can't understand it because they're too primitive, and then the aliens are zipping off to deserts to surgically explore wolves. They have a full day ahead of them. Wow. On his journey for the truth, Reed encounters the Arlen family. The patriarch of this family claims to have created a machine, the Betatron, which is the very first beta tape player. No, sorry, it's a machine that can purportedly extend the life of humanity, giving them as a race time enough to understand and use the knowledge that their relatively short lives give them before they die and, well, can't use it, I guess. Anyway, on the way there, Reed will encounter awkward moments with teenagers.
He needs the help. Who's he?
Men in black in white vans who want to run him off the road, and a gazing ball ripoff of R2-D2 named Charlie, which is a weather tool that aliens use to monitor people and blow bushes up. Cool. Guess it's biblical. So Alien Encounters as a movie it's thoroughly a B movie. Rather than an energetic plot that carries viewers through an adventure, it's just scene after scene of the main character narrating as he reads books in his bathrobe, or eats a TV dinner, or it shows people messing around on a guitar and talking, or going camping and complaining about having to eat peanut butter for breakfast.
Why don't we just forget breakfast? Everything's so dirty from last night.
I thought you were going to fix pancakes.
Well, how about an apple?
No.
Or a peanut butter sandwich? And I have candy, too.
This stuff's for lunch, though.
This is not for lunch, too.
Yikes. Most times, a movie like this would bore me to death. And some alien movies of this time period, the early 80s and the late 70s, did bore me to death, just about. But somehow, AE pulls off watching two people in plaid and red shirts talk about if there's aliens on the sun. Now, wait a second. Where have I seen this before? Huh. AE manages to check off a whole list of things that interest me in terms of folklore and paranormal myths. I love in Alien Encounters how there's scenes of people sitting in homes, spotting UFOs outside their window, taking hikes and finding strange things, witnessing flaming boomerangs in the air. The whole atmosphere of the film is the same as the one you or I would be in if we were to encounter the unknown. And that makes this movie strangely more realistic than good effects and bigger budgets could ever achieve. And let's be honest, many famous pieces of UFO evidence, vintage stuff especially, were probably achieved with similar techniques to what's used in this movie. Rather than having a fantastical plot of hackneyed tropes and plot contrivances and generic characters, Alien Encounters is sort of like just regular life, and that makes it charming. It implies a lot of kooky stuff is going on, but it humbly avoids shooting too far into them and hitting the absurd, or doing too little and becoming boring. And that's despite being full of the weird and many long quiet moments. It's an achievement, a sort of domestic, entrancing view into the supernatural world of UFO beliefs and believers in the 1970s. It's a quiet portal back to a comparatively innocent time with amateur special effects, desert landscapes, loads of awkward moments that are funny for the wrong reasons, and some goofball moments that only the 70s could do, like the wah-wah Qatar car chase at the end of the movie. Wow. It's just enough that's neat, to be worth the watch. I give Alien Encounters 3 gazing ball robots with a thing for bushes and burning them out of 5. There's worse things out there to encounter.
All of these things are designed to frighten a monkey.